All right. Let's see. Let's do green screen. All right. This is going to be so good, guys. All right. Let me move some stuff around. Docs. Chat. There we go. Now I can see what's going on. We're going to give it just a couple minutes. This was completely unplanned. And the reason that I'm going to go through and do a live stream right here, right now, is because it's coming into a long weekend. And with a long weekend, I hate getting buried by work. So 2 birds with 1 stone. We're going to do live troubleshooting right here on the air. Anything could happen. Never plug these items in. For all I know, they catch on fire. That'd be kind of cool. And that would suck at the same time, but still kind of cool. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this live and show you guys the process in just a minute. All right. So I'm just tidying up the desk here because I have abused it a little bit. Just a little bit. Catherine, how you doing, ma'am? So I really would like to do the teardown right here, but the problem being is that I don't have enough space. Simple enough. So we're going to implement something here behind me, behind the curtain. Ms. Catherine, I am doing very well. Thank you. Very well. I'm recovering, so if I cough a little bit here and there, it's because life sucks, and you know, now that the kids are all out of public school, at least for the summer, hopefully I won't be getting sick anymore, ever. All right, guys. Catherine, where are you coming out of? Where do you live? What city, state, country? Really kind of curious, because you get my live stream as soon as I'm coming on. You know, which is unusual. Please say you're in Houston. Please say you're in Houston. That would be actually kind of cool. All right, let's see. I got to switch between some of my cameras here. Boop. No video. All right. Well, you're in Colombia? What? That is so cool. That is so cool. All right, well, this is one of my favorite views right here. Colombia. You know something? Catherine, I'll tell you, here's something. I have an opportunity. I don't know how much I can say, but I have an opportunity where I will be very possibly visiting many countries around South America, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. So, there we go. All right. And this guy's supposed to switch them, but it's not. Hold on, guys. We're going to figure this out. Makes it so much easier if my, there we go. All right. If my screen, there it is. All right, now I can talk to everybody equally. I would love to visit you, Catherine. Love it. Okay. All right. So today we're going to do some troubleshooting on electrical, some pneumatics, a little bit of everything. Just depends on how much time I have and, you know, what people want. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Behind the curtain is my first victim and my second. Oh, and some control boards. Okay, here. Oh, no. All right. That might be for another weekend live stream. I have a bunch of control boards to rip through. Haha! All right. Let's see how well this works out. I'm going to switch up the cameras and figure out the best way to do this. That one right there. And come here. There we go. How about that? Cartagena. Ooh, Very nice. Very nice. Here in Katy, Texas, we have many Colombian restaurants. Many, many. It is a fantastically diverse place. I can find any type of food I want within minutes. Compared to any other place that I've lived in the United States, Katy, Texas is fantastic. Okay, so we got a few things going on here. Okay, so this, right off the bat, this looks like a standard air compressor, but it is not. I imagine that this guy's actually kind of expensive because it looks like it has an auto purge system built in. So the complaint from the users are that the unit is leaking. All right, and that is the only comment that I have. The only comment I have. Okay. So it has a pancake style compressor like you'd find on, well, you'd find a compressor like this on your refrigerator, to be honest. So one of the first things that I'm noticing is on this compressor, down here you have a little sight glass. You see that? And this little sight glass normally will be half full of oil. And I have almost nothing in there. So that's a first indicator that something is not right. It could be just that it's old. Maybe that it just needs maintenance. We're going to figure that out. Well, right there's a breather. And with that being a breather, probably your input air, then that's also maybe where you'd add compressor oil, because this is an air compressor, and technically refrigerant compressors are air compressors, technically. Okay, so I'm kind of curious because if they ran it without oil, and right here it's saying the oil level, then it's possible that this guy is locked up. Hasib, how you doing, sir? It is so good to see you, man. I wanted to do a video with Hasib for so long. I watch every one of his videos. Excellent. So what we have here is this is a medical grade air compressor. And the thing about this guy is that it needs lots of love. And I can tell based on the gauges right here, they're missing their gauge faces. Right here I have what looks like an airline, but it looks like it's coated in almost like an oil, which could be part of the problem. If we got some blow-by or something, then that would be part of the situation. Over here I've got the oil fill tube. I can actually see it. They actually labeled it. How cool is that? Oh yeah, there we go. Now y'all can see. I love this. I love that view. Okay, so first off, this guy is just absolutely dirty. Low to almost empty on oil. And let's see. It looks like they've been using it on auto. So I'm going to go ahead and let's shut it off. And let's see. Here is the output air. So first thing we want to do is check it for leaks. So I'm going to shut off the output air. So the regulator, all that is going to be stopped. I have a little, this would be a little spigot up here on the top to probably drain it. And over here I have a little emergency overpressure. And it feels like it's seating well. So this guy, normally your emergency overpressure when they get dirty, corroded, anything like that, which this guy's obviously had kind of a rough life, I would naturally suspect these guys here, but not this time. Okay, so the bypass or the blow off, I'm going to close it. Right here's the emergency. So I should have an auto purge. So that means when you power it up, it'll open up a valve. Now I'm assuming that that's what's going on with this guy, because this guy is an expensive compressor. Medical grade air compressors, what they will tend to do is when you power them up and when they shut off, they will open a little solenoid. They blow off some of the moisture and then they close up. They seal back up. And I don't know if this guy's got it or not. We're going to plug it in, and let's go ahead and take a listen, and we'll see what's going on. First, I'm definitely going to need a rag because this guy is dirty. All right, let's go ahead and plug it in. Let's see what's going on. Vladimir, how you doing, sir? Excellent. Wow, I love that all you guys are getting on. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's go ahead and plug this guy in. It is off at the moment. So remind you, it could be locked up. We're going to find out. Okay. Just like a lot of pancake compressors that you find in refrigerators and stuff, this guy is actually very quiet. Now, one of the cool things about this compressor that you don't normally see in this style is this ring right here around the top. Because inside this chamber is a compressor which is surrounded by oil. And this ring right here has got a fastener on it, so we can open it up and take a look at the compressor on the inside and maintain it. How about that? Because almost every single one of these parts we can buy. So I'm just blown away, because normally this is hermetically sealed, which means it's permanently sealed as a unit, an assembly. But this guy looks like you can maintain it. Probably pull the pump out. We might actually do that. Now, when I power it on, there's almost no vibration. I can hear it, what sounds like it doing something. Okay. Now the gauge is a little bit stuck. So it did build pressure. You heard it? I have to get right down next to it. It's that quiet. Can you guys barely hear that? Let's open up the valve. It is building pressure. Okay. That is whisper quiet. That is like, I don't know, let's say 30 decibels. Now, if I'm sitting here and I'm talking to somebody, you would barely hear that at all. Okay, I just shut it off. Okay, so this has only got like a 1-gallon reservoir over here, so it's not going to be very big, but it does build pressure kind of quickly. Now, I'm kind of upset that the gauges are smashed. That means that this guy has been abused. You should never have a pressure vessel with broken gauges. Never. Because without those gauges, there's no way to tell if that emergency is blowing off or not. You'd never know. It's supposed to blow off at a certain pressure. How do you know what pressure it is? You don't. So the other thing that I can do on this particular guy is over here, I appear to have a working gauge on my regulator. So what I could do is open up the regulator all the way and then occlude it over here, which means I'd have to have a, 3/8 plug to occlude this guy. So I would basically be running it at full pressure, you know, open up the regulator all the way. And now I have a semi-functional gauge. Although this one is also, it's missing its sight glass. So anyway, guys, IPA, cloth rag, some oil. The impeller sounds wrong. Well, I'll tell you what, I am too curious about what's going on in here. And also, because this guy has got the ability to open it up, and I've got the oil. Oh my God, look how dirty this oil return line is. So nasty. I would want to open it up. Let's just take a look. Let's see what's going on inside the compressor housing. How cool is that? Very excited. All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Let's try a T15. Looks pretty darn close. I'm so good. That was a lucky guess. All right, here, let's drain it. Make sure that there's no air. Oh, whoa. Okay, okay. So I just learned something else new, guys. So this purge over here is an actual real purge. And the other thing that I just figured out is that these guys have not been purging it, because it just blew a whole stream of liquid right over here on me. Here, let's go ahead and move this guy over so that y'all can see it a little bit better. All right. So right here is the purge, and it just made an absolute mess all over this board. Okay. I'm just building up enough pressure to blast out all the liquid. And let's see, now I got to get a container for the liquid. There, how about this? All right, let's do this. Ah, Jesus. Oh, God, nasty. There is a lot of liquid in this guy. And I'm seeing a lot of mixed in oil too. Ah, nasty. Nasty. You see that? Nasty. All right. Jeez. All right. Let's try that again. Oh, I wish I had a little tube. You'd think I'd be a little more prepared for this, huh? All my hoses and stuff are over in some bins. There is so much liquid coming out of this guy. God, jeez. See, if your chamber is full of water, not only is it rusting, which you can tell by the color, but also your pressure vessel has only got so much volume. And if you have, jeez, if you have 100 milliliters of water in there, well, jeez, then you're going to have some problems with volume. All right, so first things first, the users have to be made aware that they are not maintaining their equipment correctly. And furthermore, this is going to shock you guys. Right here, there's a sticker that says no PM required. No PM required. It does have oil, and it does need to be drained. Who's to say when the last time this guy was shown a little bit of love? Just a little bit. So somebody put this as a no PM item, and it's full of water. Ah, jeez. That's so nasty. All right. I'm afraid I'm going to have to get a hose, because this guy is going to create nothing but problems. All right, let's see. Where are my hoses? Oh, guys, it's good to have a supply of extra stuff. Okay. All right, well, that's not exactly what I wanted, but it's what I'm getting. All right, well, I do have some extra hoses here, but I just need to stop it from blasting like all over my face, and you know. There we go, much better. Yeah, air compressors are not a no PM item. Air compressors are items that go boom. You know, it's a pressure vessel. We have to maintain it. And this is probably a very expensive compressor. I mean, I don't know, you guys can look it up. This is a Panther air compressor. It's www.werther.com, WERTHER.com. So Werther Panther air compressor. It's super quiet. This would be like the perfect air compressor for like a tattoo shop or something. Dang, gotta get all that oil out of there, man. So it does have a bung plug down here. So once it's completely drained, I could pull that plug and then tip it on its side and get the rest of the garbage out, which is probably what we're going to end up doing. Okay, so I think that's most of the oil out. Oil / water, whatever that was, nasty. So now, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to vent this. Not so bad. Never ever pull apart a pressure vessel while there's pressure, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this guy open, and then we can pull the hood off this compressor and see what is going on down here. It's just funny because everything is in the way to get this guy open. Wow. And this fastener is threaded into plastic, so it is not going too easily. That's why we gotta try a little manual override. All right, let's see, that's a T15. Let's see. I know you guys are probably curious, what the heck is inside this compressor housing? Why would I pull it apart? Well, there's already enough evidence of negligence that I have to open it up now, even to see if the compressor's safe to continue to operate. Oh, it's probably standard. Okay, let's see. So guys, I hope that you all are going to have a wonderful weekend. I myself, I'm just trying to get caught up on stuff. I do have several other items back over here that I have to go through yet just to figure out what's going on. You know how it is. Oh, come on, man. I know I should have my bits organized a little bit better, but I don't. Okay, that's definitely not it. This one here looks like it. Yeah. Okay. This guy. And this guy. All right. There we go. I just had to seat that guy on there a little bit. Okay. All right, boy, that was threaded into, well, no. No, guys. Somebody cross-threaded that when they put it on last time. Ah, jeez. All right. There are so many people out in the repair industry that probably shouldn't be repairing things, you know? You know? Just saying, guys. So there's a very large rubber O-ring on the top of this lid. Here we go. All right. This is so cool that we could just open up one of these compressors, because normally one of these compressors is, you know, it's sealed and, you know, you hardly ever look inside them. Okay, so we have, all right, so over here is my electronics that go into the motor. What do you think? Okay, So I can see some of the oil gets pumped up and around. It's running pretty low. In fact, you can hear the motor as it's almost starving for oil. I don't know if I have any light grade compressor oil. It is an extremely light viscosity, so I don't see any filings or anything in here, and the motor appears to be spinning very smoothly. So right here you can see, here, let me spin it around so y'all can take a look. So right here we have the crank. You can see it's got an offset weight right there. As I spin it, it's reciprocating and, you know, pumping away. So right over here is the piston. So now I was expecting that this guy, because they said that it had an air leak, I was expecting to have to get in and either one of these hoses here was going to be damaged, which I was expecting, or that in here one of the reed valves was going to be contaminated, so it just wasn't building pressure. But it's clearly building pressure, and I don't see any leaks that I can verify. It just needs a lot of love. So the compressor itself is fine, nice and smooth. Okay, let's go ahead and put the hood back on. All right. Oh, that just gets me. No PM required. Jeez. You guys can see the sticker there. All right. Let's go ahead and tap this guy down. Clean around the lip. All right. And this guy. So the nut is not in a bad condition. There we go. And there it is. All right, cool. Oh. Yeah, that was somebody did that. All right. Well, here's one of the advantages of having a lot of fasteners. Okay. So what we have here is negligence and incompetence, because somebody shouldn't have put it back together like that. Okay. See, I also don't want to put the softest metal fastener in there. It's got to be reasonably strong. And also, the head of the fastener has to fit in the bracket. Okay. So a cap head screw is probably one of the only things that's really going to fit in there. That one will fit. Okay. We're getting close, guys. See, is the nut completely boogered up? Feels like it. Okay. I do have, in this container over here, I have a lot of different fasteners, you name it. And that spray paint just sprayed paint all over my leg. That's fantastic. All right, here we go. God, jeez. Anything could happen when you're live streaming, right? Including spray paint on the leg. God, jeez. All right, here we go. So I found a replacement fastener. This one is stainless steel. The reason we want to use stainless steel is because it's stronger, you know, and it resists corrosion. These things are not going to be in the cleanest environment known, so it's going to be special if we can give them stainless steel fasteners. All right, lip seal all the way down. Let's go ahead and put this guy on, nice and even. And let's drive this guy in. Is it this one? No, of course it's not. Why would it be? All right, here we go. This looks like quite the contraption, right? All right, here we go. Oh, come on. It's one of those days. There it is. Okay. So since this guy is just lightly compressing that O-ring, it doesn't take a hell of a lot of force, man. So that's all it is. Just, it doesn't have to go all the way down. It's just compressing an O-ring and you're good. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and let it build some pressure. I'm not going to run it for a huge amount of time since this guy right here doesn't have a lot of oil to help cool it. And also, you see all this lint around here. This poor thing has not been shown any love. Now, I absolutely love finding compressors like this. This would be my, third one? I think I've done videos on 2 others. Because when they start to break, people just want to trash them, you know? And the thing about compressors is that almost everything about them is fixable. Just almost everything is. You just got to take a little bit of effort and be safe because it is a pressure vessel, you know? It's basically a bomb waiting to go off. But even these gauge sets right here, we can find replacement gauges. It only goes up to 10 bar. Yeah, that's a standard low PSI. All right, it just auto shut off. Start it back up. So its contacts are adjusted correctly. I would like to plug this guy and see what pressure we're at. I can get up to 80 psi with my finger. Here, let's see if we can turn it so y'all can see. So right here is the output. 40, 50. I can get up to maybe 60 psi. Do I have any plumbing fittings that will go on there? I don't think I do. Maybe I do. Do I? You just never know, do you? Here I've got some fittings right around the corner. Now this is a plastic or nylon component, so I don't exactly trust it under pressure. It could explode. All right, let's see if I can include it. Okay. Well, it was shooting around 80 or 90 psi right here on the gauge. Here, let's turn it so y'all can see it right here. So I put on a fitting, and when I put on the fitting, that's when now I can manage it with a rag. You can see it shot way up to about 100 psi, which is standard air compressor. And my rag is getting really cold. Right. I haven't even checked the water trap on this bowl right here. What do you guys think? It's probably full of water. Oh. It's not full of water. I'll be darned. I would have lost my paycheck on that. So, right here's your water trap for your output air. Oh, it's still kicking up some liquids, man. Okay. Well, this gauge right here, it's going up by 100. is now I don't trust it, but it's going up to about 115 psi, and then it shuts off. Again, I don't trust it. The gauge has been clearly impacted, but let's go ahead and shut it off, vent it, make it safe. I probably have gauges for these. In fact, do I have gauges right here? I've got some old projects sitting around right here. And in some of these old projects, I do have termination fittings, a low pressure regulator. I do have some fittings. All right, well, excuse me guys. All right, so this guy here, it needs oil. This right here is the muffler, and it appears to be, a little bit dirty. So the reservoir right here, it needs to be opened up. The rest of the fluid's got to be drained off, which is probably what I'll do right now. So I know exactly what I'm working with. So right now, okay, I've got the spigot all the way open right here, and I've got the output air all the way open. That way there, when I start taking the threads off of this guy, it doesn't blast me in the face. Let's see. Go big or go home, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. I figured it was going to be a little feisty. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh man. Okay, well that part I'm gonna have to wait on then. Shoot. Because I've got to get out the 3/4 inch sockets to get this bad boy off. All right. Well, I'll leave it open. I do feel some heat building up in here, just from that little run that I just did. It needs that oil for sure. Okay, so the compressor needs a little bit of love, but it is salvageable. Cool. I'll see if the customer wants to proceed with that. Let's go ahead and place this guy off to the side. All right. And let's see. Man, that's dusty. Ugh. All right. Okay, so here I have a Welch Allyn unit. This one, it was just dropped off to my house today. I have no idea what's going on with it. I didn't even know it was going to be showing up, because why would I? That would seem to be a courtesy to tell somebody that they're going to drop something off. What? Okay. All right, absolutely ridiculous. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong while we're streaming. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Sorry guys, I'm abusing my comment section here. Air compressor from Germany. Interesting. Love it. I see Hasib left. Aw, $500 compressor. Okay. I might actually tell him to buy another compressor, because here's the thing is, on this poor guy, if it is only $500, I'd rather not partially rebuild it. I don't know how much damage has been happening, because it's been running for years probably with low oil. Marine Werther's has a pipe for condensation blown out. Okay. It's metric. Yes, it is. What was wrong with it? So Robert asked, what was wrong with it? I had no idea. The customers complained that there was an air leak. Well, almost every single problem that you're going to experience with a device is going to be where the rigid material meets the soft material. So yeah, the pump needs some love, but at the same time, what's the condition of the tubing that goes from the pump up into the suspension system? So that air compressor is used for a patient suspension system, whereas it uses pneumatics to help. It's an assisted lift system. So assisted lift means that you'll have this vest that you strap on the patient, and then the air compressor helps them stand up, and there's a trolley that goes along the ceiling, and it will lock them in at a certain height, and then they can walk back and forth across the room with this ceiling mounted trolley. And then when they release it, it uses pneumatics to release the air and then lower the patient. So it's a cool system, but yeah. Let's see. The crankshaft is hollow with a tap in the bottom. Inside the tap is a very thin metal plate. Okay, balance. Don is right here in Houston. Oh man. Okay. Well, you guys all can see that clearly this pump needs to be thoroughly cleaned out, because especially that reservoir, because it's got oil and water, which might have actually saved it having the oil in there as well, because I mean, if you don't drain out the water, it will rust the inside of your pressure vessel. After venting, let it warm up. It's 1:52 in the morning, Vlad. Oh my gosh, that's early. You think the oil is now running into the intake port? Yes, I think you're right. But it was a good compressor nonetheless. Let's go ahead and let's power up this guy, and let's see what's going on with the Welch Allyn, because that one, I'll read the note for you guys because it's so descriptive. It says, it's been reported broken. The end. It's been reported broken. Well, if it catches on fire, then I won't feel like I need more information, but I feel like I need more information, guys. All right. Well, first things first, there is a, there's my camera. It does have an AC charging light. So it is saying that it's charging the battery. So it does have a battery inside it on the other side. So it does recognize that it does have AC power. All right, so it's going into boot. We have a screen. Screen's got a little bit of dithering on the lettering, which usually means some sort of impact damage. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So you can see the backlight has got a very bad flash right there. Now, it is not a camera trick, and it is definitely not a problem with the frequency of the frame rate of the camera. It is definitely doing that. All right, and I'm missing a lot of coloration. So, yep, we're missing quite a bit. What do you say? Take it apart. So usually when you have no signs of physical damage, which I don't see, usually what will happen is there's often like a cable that comes unplugged, and it might be slightly ajar because you do have data. You just don't have all the data. Like I'm missing some of the coloration, and I got some bleed off down here at the bottom, which also might be from an impact damage. Although I do have some screens for these guys, I think I do. And if I do, then maybe we can get this guy back up and going. Let's see. Does this guy got a battery? No, of course not. Why would it? Let's try it. So the second one over here looks like it's got a reasonably good screen. see, we got battery, AC, yep. All right, that's a beautiful screen. Ah, and you guys can't see. Ah, camera angles. Okay, so here is a proper screen. I got crisp and clean blues and greens. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so this one here, now that little flashing that you see on there, that is actually a frame rate issue with the camera. In person, I can't even perceive that. It looks beautiful. So, despite the fact that it's a little bit dirty, whoop, come on, shut off. Despite the fact that it's a little bit dirty, I have my donor. Let's go ahead and clean some of this stuff up from that dirty pump. And I can probably fix this guy right here, right now. How cool would that be? So, let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure I got the correct camera angles for all this garbage. All right, so I got one camera that's going straight, and the other one is going off to the side because why not? There we go. Almost looks more professional, doesn't it? Something that we should never say here on the Better Biomed channel. Professional. All right, let's see this. Okay, so these guys here, they do have a battery system. So first thing I'm gonna do is kick out the batteries, set them off to the side, and normally I have my knife on me. But I don't at the moment. So we're just gonna use a flat blade screwdriver, kick out this guy, save me a battery, save it, save it, save it. Bootlicker. Man, I'll tell you what, for this being Memorial Day, I do not have anything to drink. Not that I need it, but I just don't have it. All right. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna bring back this guy. Come on. Oh, this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay. There we go. All right, and on these guys, come on. And I don't remember if there's something under that flat blade. Is it just a network port? Nope, there's a fastener. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set these fasteners over here, keep them somewhat separate. So this unit right here has got a cracked case. It's clearly had a semi-rough life, but the display looks beautiful. All right, here's all the screws. Oh my God, it's had such a rough life. I'll show you, hold on, I'll show you guys. Nasty. All right, let's turn it. That is muck falling out of this unit. It's absolutely disgusting. Let's pop this guy off. Now, I did a teardown video of these guys once before, and to my surprise, almost everything that is inside this unit is USB, which is very cool. And at the same time, I'm even more curious because if it's all USB, then I would like to see if maybe some of these accessories over here will plug into a regular computer and read off their USB codes. But yeah, so here's this guy. I'm going to set this guy off to the side because until we get this guy apart, we don't know what parts we're going to need. It does have a good low voltage power supply in it. Let's see. All right, so I need to continue digging. Set these parts up here. I got those two, got those. All right. Now I really wish that my system over there would read off chats like as they come across. I don't know how annoying that would be, but I really wish that somebody would read off my chats, because I'm sorry guys, I'm multitasking here. Yeah, the screen is trashed. Open it up, check the ribbon cable. Yes, that is exactly what we are going to do. Okay, so I guess one of the coolest first things that we can do is pull off all the modules together, just like that. I love that. it's one of my favorite things about these. So here's all the modules for that one. You can see my USB bus in there, like it's quite a bit, really. This panel over here should just lift straight up. There's a one ribbon cable. Yep, right there. You have to go in with a flat blade, pop it nice and easy. There it is. Okay. All right, so we got that. Now, it has been a little bit since I've taken one of these guys apart. Oh, I thought I pulled this bottom fastener out already. I didn't. My bad. Okay. So that one holds this bottom plate on. Okay. So now I can get at the display. Now, here's a little bit of the gamble, because I'm assuming it's the display, and I'm assuming it's because there's some sort of impact damage. And hold on. How can we do this a little bit better? Let's try and do this better, guys. Okay. All right, so right here, this is your video cable right here. And it is very easy for that to skew. This one over here, this little thin guy, this is your touchscreen encoder. So there is an overlay on the front, and that guy right there, that tiny little cable, handles your touchscreen. So if your touchscreen goes out, check there. If your video is messed up, always check right here, because as you guys probably just seen, I just pulled it out. It was super easy. So nothing stops one side of this from popping out just a little bit, to which then that's when you start losing data and you get those weird video signals. So what I'm going to prepare to do is just pull this whole entire display out of here and change it out. This is nasty in here, guys. Absolutely nasty. Hold on. All right. Good God. All right, so I see I do have some zip ties to contend with. All right. All right. Good. Okay. You guys can see just how dirty this system really is. I don't even know how it got that dirty, because this was in a medical facility. Yes, I just squished it, but that was inside it. Yeah. All right. Jeez. Okay, so let's see. I've got 4 large fasteners right here, that holds the display on. So that's going to be the first thing I'm going to pull out. Okay, so these are shoulder screws. I'm going to set them over here. Do not lose them. Good luck finding replacements. Okay, and that should hold the whole thing in. Yes, it does. Good. So I could technically change out this whole entire logic board with the other machine. And actually it might be easier to do that, because look at that. That comes out as one unit. I don't have to change anything else. All right. But it does need some love. This guy definitely needs cleaned up. And, whoops. One of my little connectors here popped off. So you can see the style connector just pulled right off the pins. And that kind of sucks because now I got to figure out what the index is of the connector, which means I'll probably got to open up the other one. You got a 50-50 shot, you know, it's like 8 or 10 pins. You're either going to get it in this orientation or this orientation. And, well, I've got a whole story about a guy that took a stab at it and did a 50-50 shot, and he ended up burning a device out because he just guessed which way to put one of those cables on. So since I'm going to try and save this guy, I'm going to plug the touchscreen encoder back in. Alright. Alright, let's see. It looks all clear. Alright, this board's just nasty, so I am going to change it out. Need a Phillips 1. PH1. There we go. Good God. I don't think I've ever seen one of these boards so nasty before, guys. Wear gloves, maybe. Well, luckily, this here, it's just dirt. I mean, I grew up on a farm, guys. This level of dirt is nothing. All right, it really is nothing. Now, if it is some sort of liquid or dried up liquid, that's a different thing. That's a whole different matter there, guys. So there's some nasty stuff that ends up in medical equipment. So here we go. All right. Okay. So it looks like I've got 6 screws around the edges, and I've got 1 screw that's holding this Ethernet cable down. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly how I'm going to try and swap it over the display. I'm not going to disconnect anything on the next board. Okay, so let's see. We got them all. I got one more. Dang, these screws are coming out tough too, like there's Loctite on them. Is my camera really that blown out and overexposed? Holy cow. What? How about that? A little bit better? I don't know. Man. Okay, let's put this up here. Oh, wow. Just when I thought I got all the fasteners, they put like another one in between a couple ports. So weird. So weird, guys. Yeah, you know, I do take photos of when I take some devices apart, specifically when it comes to cabling. So one of the things I've said before, and I will tell you guys right now, is where these connect to what device. Like if this one connects to the top device, this one here connects to the bottom one, never ever change the orientation, because often, especially with USB, there'll be a COM port assignment that is specifically set up in the software, and we don't have the ability to change that. So if these cables here are plugged into certain ports, leave them in their ports. Do not just move them around, because if you change them, you will be changing the communication settings if there are any. There we go. Okay, so here is the main board, and the reason I'm really changing it out is because this comb that's separating the cables is nasty. Look at that. I don't want to clean it. This guy here is probably in a better condition. However, here's my prize. This display right here, which is nasty, but it's all right. We'll show it some love. And guys, I do have a series of paint brushes just for items like this. The cool thing about paint brushes is that they have different bristle strengths. So some of them are more rigid, some of them are softer. Let's see. And I also have a lot of these style brushes. So I got nylon brushes like this and like this to help clean them up, you know. So you can see the touchscreen encoder on this guy is absolutely nasty. And set this off the side because this is going to drive me crazy, all the mess. And this touch encoder right here, it's resistive. It's very contaminated. So let's see. I guess let's clean it with one of the easiest things I can. I have Zeiss wipes. Now these are normally for glass, but they do have like a alcohol and ammonia mixture on them. It should clean this kind of well. Oh yeah, nice. So once I clean this glass, I'm going to set it aside and be very careful not to touch it until it gets loaded into the next frame. So all the debris is sitting right here on the edges. If this was a capacitive touchscreen, that debris on the edges would almost certainly give you touchscreen errors and a lot of problems. But with it being resistive, it's much older technology. I did a whole video on repairing resistive touchscreens. And resistive, it's not as good of a touchscreen, but it is more resilient. And it's repairable. So things like dirt and contamination, like what you're seeing here, this would have definitely gave me problems for a capacitive touchscreen. Oh wow, yeah, she's a dirty girl. Okay, I'm also inspecting it for any impact damages. I got a couple little nicks right here, but as far as I'm aware, this touchscreen is working fine. But what you should know is this right here, this is a glass panel with multiple layers of conductive material on it. And when you touch it, you're shorting out between the two layers in a matrix, so an X and Y pattern. And what that means is that if you have nicks in it, it will create problems with the between the layers. So those can be fixed later, but we're kind of taking a gamble since I see a couple little nicks. Hopefully it'll be all right. I probably should have tested it before I shut it down and took it apart. All right. All right. Let's see. Looks pretty clean now. So sometimes these nicks right here, we can fix them. I do have a hot air source over there. The cable looks like it's in excellent condition. Sometimes these cables, especially where they're bent at a really sharp angle, it'll start degrading. Often it'll start degrading because of your cleaning solvent, what the staff's been using to clean your medical equipment. You'll see a lot of these carbon trace cables, they'll just start degrading. Okay, so, all right, that looks all right. So if this touch encoder is bad, now my display is what I really need. If the touch encoder is bad, then I can heat it up with the hot air source over there and we can separate it from the base material. So it is a whole separate component. You see right here, it's got its own cable, but it is stuck on with adhesive. So you have to very gently stick like a guitar pick under it and heat it up, and then use the guitar pick to kind of lightly loosen it up and then separate it. So anyway, here we go. There's also a second connector right under here. Some of them are hardwired. This one here has got a connector at each end of the video cable. So even though the cable might be good at one end, you got to check for skew at the other side as well. So that means you're going to have to lift up the control board, which we already did. You're going to have to check to make sure it's fully seated because maybe it got yanked. Hard to say. But this guy's good. I'm gonna set it right here. And I'm gonna clean this desk because we are gonna tear the next one open. I even have a jumbo UPS over here that I've got to check out because reasons. It was just dropped off to my house and it's like, gosh darn it, guys. Y'all are giving me a whole bunch of stuff to do, aren't you? Okay. Here we go. Nice. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and pull this temperature cable off so it doesn't get damaged. Those things do break and they are expensive. It's like $120 for those things. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Let me go back and read some of the comments. Photos of the connectors would be very good, guys. Okay. I have a special bush for electronics. Okay, that's interesting. Natural pig bristles. Huh. You know, I do have in my real tool bag, I do have a cylindrical brush with a tapered handle, and that thing has been with me for decades. And the cool thing about that brush is, you know, when you have a tool bag, you want as many functions as possible with one tool. So it does have a round brush head, but it's got a tapered brush handle. And I've used that tapered brush handle for aligning things before, like a drift punch. I've used it for separating cases and stuff because it's tapered, and because it's plastic, it won't mar your material. So you can use it to help separate cases and stuff. I love that brush, and I should get another one. The bristles are all like this because I've used it for so many years for cleaning in around like PC fans and stuff. But yeah, that guy's definitely had a rough life. But I love that brush, and I do believe that one is it's an animal hair brush, and I don't know if it's pig or what, but it's definitely an animal hair brush. Love that brush. Let's go ahead and zip this guy apart. Now the case on this one is beautiful. It doesn't have any signs of being damaged, so that's good. All right. It's just funny that these things are USB centered devices. That's so wild to me. Hold on, I have a bunch of magnetic trays all over the place, and I need those. We're gonna use a good old Yeti cup because I don't want to, you know, get the fasteners mixed up between these two units. The other one will probably never get put back together. Almost certainly not. It's just a donor unit. I do have, right now, I think I have about 100 of these Connex 6000s in storage. I acquire them from, you know, projects and hospitals that are reconfiguring, just a whole bunch of stuff, man. So I do have a bunch of Connex 6000s. So if you guys need any, you let me know. I have a bunch of them. There we go. All right. Come on. There we go. And last one. Excellent. There we go. Okay. This guy's looking like it's in really good condition. Let's go ahead and set it up so y'all can see from the side. Now, mind you, I don't want to take as many things apart on this one as the last one because there's no real reason to. Right? So one of the things I do have to clear out of the way are these modules right here. And let's see, I have an Ethernet cable and some USBs. It can kind of sit there. It'll be okay. But these guys have to come out for sure. Let's go ahead and pop these ones off, pull them out. God, what a cool setup. That is so cool. Now I'm going to set these parts over here in the order that they were in because, like I said, we don't want to change any orders. And let's see, I do have one small fastener on the bottom of this guy that's holding the metal tray, which is also your battery tray. It's holding it all in. Right, there we go. I'm going to set that fastener over here. It's special. There we go. So all I need to do is drop that bottom pan just a little bit because I want to access in here for that display. Let's see. Can I get you guys a better camera angle? I think I can. There we go. Man, I love the ability to move this stuff all around. Okay. So you can see this panel here sitting really loosely. Now the key is I'm going to take all the fasteners out of this board, and I'm going to take the fasteners here so I can just kind of shuffle it out. There's one cable that I have to be very careful of. That's this touch encoder because it's so frail. It's just this little cable. Got to hurry up and get that guy out of the way. And most of these other cables will be just fine. The other cable I have to disconnect right here is your video cable, and it is seated evenly, so it wasn't that the cable at this end is skewed. Sometimes it is, but not on this one. Okay, so see, let's go ahead and pull the main screws, the shoulder screws. Okay. Okay, so that unlocks the display from the front of the case. Now what I got to do is take out all these Phillips #1 screws, get those guys out. I'll tell you what, there's got to be a better way of doing this, right? Oh, let's see. I have to have some Phillips #1s. Right? Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Here we go. Let's do this. Now, I'll use a hand screwdriver to put them back in, but to take them out, there's just a lot of screws. There we go. Nice. All right, I'm going to set those ones right here. Right. This is a Milwaukee bit that I have here, and this guy, it's actually got some screw retention because they're sticking to it. You know, it is slightly magnetic, but it's such a perfect fit that they're really sticking on there. Right. There we go. And let's see, I got two more. Okay, so this is the one that's got the washer. Set him off to the side. There's this one and one in the middle. All right. So everything should be loose. So what I can do is lift this guy up. I have a little piece of tape right here. I gotta kind of pull up on this. There we go. I'm gonna stick this tape right here on the edge of the table because that's gonna be used to hold down the next cable. All right, so this control board is floating. You're up. Let's pull the shoulder screws out so I don't lose them. There we go. All right, well, and then I lose one. Okay, very easily lift this guy out. Okay. All right, so here is the old display. This connector right here is nice and square. The cable looks like it's in good condition, so it just is what it is, man. Failed part. I don't see any signs of physical damage either, so no, it's not the time. It's not the time. So anyway, yeah, I've got these connectors on here, really good. I don't have any damages that I can see on the touch encoder. So, I guess we'll take a gamble with the other touch encoder just in case, right? All right, here's this guy. Looks like they are the same. There's one revision I can see is in the cable. So yeah, they're using a little bit of a different cable on the new part. That's okay. We'll be all right. All right, so let's go ahead and put this guy in nice and easy. The cool thing is it sits in its own gasket right up in the front. And it cradles it, makes it nice and even. I love that. Welch Allyn actually does build some good stuff. It's just, I wish they just were more open with their parts and for right to repair, you know. Covidian is just not playing well. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, here, let's go ahead and lift this guy up. The gasket is wanting to teeter left to right. So you can see the gasket and how it sits on there. There we go. Okay. Wow. All right, let's try it again. And there's a cable. Just make sure that cable doesn't get trapped underneath that display. And how are we sitting? All right, we're square. We're square. Okay, looks like we're good. Now we get the shoulder screws. We got to put them back in so that display does not come out of its position. All right, remember, until you get all the fasteners in, don't tighten any of them down, because we still have to manipulate it so that they all line up. Okay, and let's see, last shoulder screw, and we should be good. Now you can see all my cables are still pretty much all connected. There's only one that wasn't, and that's this little guy right here for the touch encoder. All right, I'm going to tighten down all the shoulders, and then I'm going to tilt it and take a look at the front. I want to make sure that the screen, the bezel, is nice and square and that it's all lined up beautifully, because if it's cocked a little bit, it's a half-ass job. All right, so I'm looking right here at the edges, make sure we got square seating all the way around. Looks good. Let's go ahead and lay it down nice and easy. Now I have the main control board and the bottom plate. Ooh. Come on, Bessie. Trying to be very gentle because obviously there's a lot of things that can break on this thing. Okay, so the easiest access is right up here in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and put one fastener in there so that I can line up the rest of the fasteners throughout the board. Let's see, number 1 Phillips. Okay, and let's see. So my ribbon cable for the touch encoder, I'm going to pull it up nice and easy. And I'm going to go completely across the board to the other side. And I'm going to sink a fastener in over there to hold down this Ethernet cable and to square up the board as much as possible. And wouldn't you know it, my washer fell off. Well, all right. Try something with a little more grip power. All right. So there's a washer that goes over the Ethernet cable. It was stuck to the plastic cable guide, and I was like, okay, don't interrupt it. It's stuck. It'll be easy to put back in. But was not the case. So you guys can see what I'm doing right here. So I've got the washer. I've got the #1 Phillips. I'm just going to go ahead and line it back up. Come on, there we go. That way there, I'm not putting the washer on and it's falling all over the place. Nice and easy. Okay, so now I got to line up the board. Cool. All right, yes. It's looking good, boys. It's looking good over here. All right. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. My comment section is way below where I'm reading. Not only entertaining. Well, thank you for thinking that this is entertaining, guys. Anything could happen. So one of the cool things I like about doing these live streams is that when things go wrong, and they will, you guys can see how I cope with it, because the #1 thing I see as people failing in the field is when things go awry, they just kind of throw their hands up and they get frustrated. They lose their focus, and that's the one thing that we don't have the luxury of doing. We cannot be losing our focus. We have to accept wherever we're currently at and figure out a solution and press on. So that's what we do. I've had like one air compressor I was doing live here on the stream. I was rebuilding an air compressor, and I had a fastener in the compressor head break off. So I had to show people how to grind it down, center tap it, drill it out, and retap it with threads, and then proceed from there. And in the end, that compressor ran beautifully, and I ended up donating it to a biomed college. But that one was one of the units that I pulled out of the trash. So, all right. It's like a $3,000 air compressor too, and somebody just threw it away. But it had a broken reed valve. The reed valve, I don't know how it happened. I'm thinking that there was fluids that got into the compressor because staff, you know, they didn't do their maintenance. And when fluids get into an air compressor, it's usually a no-go. And what it ended up doing is it exploded the reed valve, and the reed valve went into the cylinder. So I had to clean out the cylinder. I had to replace the reed valve with basically a spark plug gap. You know, the really thin sheets of metal that are for testing gaps of spark plugs. Yeah, so I used one of those, cut it, drilled it, shaped it, and gave it a slight preload, you know, to close on the hole. And it's running to this day at the biomed college that I donated it to. Okay. Let's see. We have multiple things to do from here. So one of them is this little piece of tape I stuck on the edge of the table. We're going to bring this cable down. I'm going to stick some tape on there. All right. I've got the video cable. Now you guys can see part of my process. Part of my process, we start at the bottom layer, and I'm working my way around the board, okay? I'm not jumping here, 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 because you will forget something. So I started here at the top with the tape, so I didn't forget it. Now I'm going to the video cable. Next, we have to go to the touch encoder. Make sure it's plugged in, make sure the cable's good. Nice. Okay, touch encoder's in. Next, I've got this little guy right here. This is just an aesthetic piece, really. And my two modules. So we're going to put them in one at a time. Oh, you know something? This is not going to line up so well because because the bottom plate is loose. That's all right, we'll get to it. All right, so we got both these modules plugged in. Okay, oh shoot, you can see right there. This piece here is already falling out. Come on, you. All right, so that was almost a problem. We're good. Let's take a look. Ribbon cable over here is good. These ones are good because I didn't have to pull them off. Ethernet is in. My USBs are all seated. Power cable's in. Power cable's in. Man, this is looking good. Okay. All those cables are in. Check, check, check. Okay, so now what I can do is kind of sit this guy up there because I have to bring up the bottom plate. And there's two fasteners that I've got to sink in. One of them's right here, and one of them's down here at the bottom to hold that battery tray in. So let's see, let me get a couple of those fasteners. This one right here is the one I had set aside. Gonna drive them up a little bit. Come on, there we go. Okay, and I do have these two right here. Okay. Right. I'm not sinking them in. So that's something that you guys should just be aware of, all right? So don't ever sink fasteners all the way until they're all lined up. It's a formula for disaster. Okay, so this is square. The case just snapped into place. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead. Let's torque them down with a hand driver. Check. All right. Now this one down here for the battery tray. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and check around the power board. I didn't take any of these apart, so I just want to make sure that none of the cables got yanked because it kind of flopped over on the side. Power cables look good. My ground conductor is good. All right. Let's put it back down. That's beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Use some of these fasteners. Right. So I've used these DeWalt tools for a long time, guys. So if you hear me just doing a single tap on the hammer, that is when I know that that's as far as I want to go as far as hand driving them with the impact. So next, I'm going to flip over to the screwdriver. So if you see me flipping back and forth, that's why. Because these are just threaded inserts into plastic. So this guy here will rip them out in a heartbeat. So we got to be careful. Okay. So now I got the handle. Ah! Cat-like reflexes. Stick the handle back on. And then let's power this bad boy up and see how badly I failed. Right? Let's do it. Right. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I'm going to take the note off because that's how optimistic I am. All right, so let's see. It's looking beautiful. Bezel square. Nice. Cool. Let's go ahead and give it some power. Do it. Let's put the battery in too, just in case. There we go. So you guys think it'll power up? What are the odds? Now I wonder if you guys noticed if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Woo. What do we got? Okay, we got the AC, so there's one thing for us. We got the light. Come on. Yes. Yes. Nice, crisp, beautiful display. Come on. Unexpected restart occurred. Go figure, right? We completely disconnected you. Let's clear. Okay. Beautiful display though. So let's go ahead and finish hooking up the rest of the accoutrements, just to be sure. Got this guy. Got this guy. And we got this guy. So function check. All right. It's reading. Cool. Very cool. Okay, you see me rubbing the end of it, because once it starts sensing that there is a resistance in this guy right here, then it will start to detect, which it did. So to test that again, put it in, give it a second, pull it out. You'll see it change. That's the micro switch here. You rub the end of it and you'll see it seeking. See that? All right. Thermometer is functioning. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful display. Yes. Success. All right, hold on. Let's see. Are the manufacturers in the healthcare sector moving away from repairable devices? Interesting question, man. The answer is yes and no. So Covidian, this company right here that built this device, they are, while they're technically doing no parts for us, they do, however, make things rather simple to change out. Look at this. There's no adhesive holding this in. There's just a rubber surround gasket, shoulder screws, and look how the cable is taped down and stuff. Super easy for us to maintain. Look at that. So one of the things I didn't, well, I kind of did, but not, is the touchscreen. Remember I said there's a couple small nicks in it? I took a gamble at putting it in here. Well, let's see. Patience, summary. Beauty. All right. I love it. Touchscreen's working beautiful. All right, guys. So Covidian, they a lot of their devices are easy to open up, and they make it for serviceability, but not for us, for their own people. So there's that. Let's see. Let's see. Bjorn says it seems to be one of those high gravity days. It is a high gravity day. It's a high gravity day where I need to go and get a high gravity beer. That's my high gravity. Let's say 9% ABV. I was repairing a Blu-ray player one time, and I went to reseat a cable and found that someone had bent 2 pins under it. I fixed it accidentally. Believe it or not, I've seen that on multiple devices where the pins are accidentally broke. All right, so guys, there's one success. Yes. We're just moving right along, man. There's 2 items. Let's go ahead and power him off. All right. So since this is a battery-powered device, the next test would obviously be to leave it charge overnight and do a battery check to make sure that the battery is functioning, and then electrical safety when all that is done. Covidian does do a reasonably good job with making these things very repairable because everything comes out in assemblies, which they did that for their own account, but that's all right. So the next thing I have, guys, is it's an interesting one. And I've never torn one of these items apart, so I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe something very bad. Oh, let's see. Yeah, one of those fasteners just boogered off on me. There he is. Okay. So, I have a new type of hydrocollator, and I believe they said that the unit is not heating up correctly. So, if it's not heating up correctly, there's multiple things that we can do to check it without just throwing money at parts. Why do people always throw money at parts? You have multimeters, you have brains, you have Ohm's law. You can figure out if any of these components are going bad. All right? And just people don't. They just throw parts at devices. So I have a special hydrocollator. I have a very heavy UPS system. Oh my gosh. My heart just sags even thinking about it because it's so large. What is this, 1,200 or 1,400? Let's see. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, let's just say it's probably 60 or 70 pounds. So this one here is a Power VAR. And what size is this guy? It says battery testing should be done by April of 2018. It probably needs batteries. This is one big UPS system. It is an 1100 VA. That's volt amps. So it's a big one. So this guy here, it does have some options, some cool options. One of them is an extended battery bank. You can use that. So that means that you can extend it from 1100 VA to like 2000 or whatever, because there are auxiliary batteries that you can hook up. You got excuse me guys. You got a standard 120 volt. You have multiple PC interfaces down here, so that you can be alerted when you have a power outage or an error code. And let's see, we have multiple outlets. When we have them in banks like this, usually a couple of them are just surge suppressed and the other ones are battery backuped. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Huh. So these ones here, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now, you know what I'm going to say. We just got to open it up, right? Because normally if they have a different number value, that means it's on its own circuit, right? So if it's 15 amp, which these are 15 amp receptacles, then it's going to have the full 15 amp load available to it. If it's got a separate number, like these ones here being both number 3, I would assume that they both share the same breaker. So it's 15 amps split between the two receptacles. I don't know. It's just something that this was dropped off at my house, and I'm going to have to open it. So, let's see. What do we say? 2 successes. I have had 2 successes, guys, and I have more successes, all right? For this guy, usually the front panel is how you access the batteries. Wow, this thing's just so large. It's such a pain in the butt to move. All right, I'm going to tilt it on its side and hopefully not crush my hands. So I got 2 Phillips in order to pull the front cover off. I've got 6 Phillips down the bottom, and it looks like I've got these ones here on the edge. Ugh. Yuck. Let's go with the simplest ones first. Let's pull the front panel. On many of these UPS systems, oh geez. On many UPS systems, the front panel is the secret sauce to accessing the batteries. They are designed to be maintained, so there's usually like a panel that's super easy to pull off. We'll find out. All right, here we go. Yes. Okay. Now let me seat it back up so I can flip it around and show you guys. Or, hey. That's why I have a table that spins around, right? Okay, so let me pull the one connector off right here. And you can see my battery bank. Which, gosh, this guy's heavy. And, all right, let's pull out the cells and let's see how many of them there are. And then what I have to do is I have to price out the batteries for this guy. What I could have done is I could have just, I don't know, looked up the service manual and found out what the batteries are. But what fun is that? Okay, here we go. All right. So this is just a bracket holding them down. It's got a little rubber piece here to kind of press down on. Oh, that's weird. Whatever. All right, and these guys, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to pull the first one, slide them out. Jeez. Here, I'm going to lock the brakes on this table. I put new casters on this table so it's easy for me to maneuver, and this is a high-low table so I can actually raise it up so that you guys can get a better view of what I'm doing. Which, why didn't I do that? Whatever, it's too late now. Let's press forward. Okay. What? What? I thought for sure this was going to have 4 batteries in a parallel series configuration. They are just in a series configuration. 2 12-volt. These ones here are... What are these batteries? These are what, 20 amp hour? They're the 51 watt. Okay, so 12 volt, 51 watt batteries. You can probably buy these for like $30, $40 a piece. And then the very back of this device is a massive transformer. It's taking up like this much space. So that's why, holy cow. This is massive. That's so crazy heavy. So there's a huge transformer back here. Oh man. Guys, while I would love to pull this guy apart and like just completely go through it because it's got some cool stuff in there. I mean, it's a huge 1100 VA UPS system. So if you guys didn't know, the VA, the volt amps, is how these things are measured for size and capacity. And the way that you would expand that and make it bigger is you add more battery cells in parallel. So these ones here are, they're set up in 24 volt configuration, so they're in series. And the way that you would expand this is this little port on the back. Oh my God, this thing is still like 50 or so pounds. Maybe more. Fuck. Okay. So, there's such a huge transformer in here. This is crazy. Oh yeah, you know something? There are 2 resettable fuses here. I wonder if those are for these. So anyway, the way that you would expand these is you have 24 volt input right here to turn it from 1100 to 2000, 2400, whatever, you know, auxiliary battery banks. So this guy is an absolute champ for being this heavy. You know, anything that's got a massive transformer in it is definitely built to last. So depending on the age, I'm guessing this is about 2015. I might want to open this up and maybe clear off on some of the IGBTs, the insulated gate bipolar transistors that are on the power board. What I would want to do is clean off the old thermal compound, put some fresh on there, maybe do a refresh on this whole UPS. I'm probably going to save that for another video because if it's that old, that means the thermal compound is starting to show its age, and that's not going to be good. So this is going to be one of those another video type of projects. It's got to happen. There is some massive lint balls inside here. You guys can see. So it needs to be opened and cleaned. And if you're going to put that kind of effort into it, you might as well go ahead and secure those semiconductors. Make sure that they have enough thermal compound, and including the rectifiers. So your full bridge rectifier that's going to be in here that converts the input into DC to charge the batteries, etc. That guy is also probably going to need new thermal compound as well. I'm going to save that for a whole nother video because I have two large systems over here that I'm going to have to find some space, wheel them up here, and show you guys what's going on. Come here. I need more space. I need a real shop. I need... If I had the space, I would have such an awesome work environment. Maybe an awesome recording environment. Okay, so what I want to do is bring up the one right here. The first one, I believe they said it's not heating up within a certain period of time. Well, there's a way that we can test that without putting water in it. We are going to go ahead and we're going to check it immediately for a resistance on the heating element. So we're going to ohm it out, and that's going to tell us immediately whether or not our heating element is bad. If it is, we just order another heating element, which I think there might be one inside it. So if there's a new heating element just sitting inside the chassis, maybe I'll throw it in today. I don't know. If you guys can't tell, I am ready for the weekend. That's why I'm so comfortable. I am just ready to start this weekend off right. I'm starting it off right. Already I've got like what, 3 successful repair jobs? That's good in my book. All right, let's see. Brushes, eye protection. All right, let's see. What? Okay, so this guy needs more love than I thought. Heat element looks, here, let's bring it over so y'all can see. The heating element looks a little corroded. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, cool. So the corrosion is not rust type of corrosion. It looks like sediment, like sitting on the heating element. Hard to say. Kind of like right here, there's like sediment that's just sitting here. That's not actual rust corrosion. That's sediment buildup, just, you know, from them not using the correct water. Users being users, right? So obviously what you guys seen is the other problem is that this guide rod right here, which holds the lid on, these things are infamous for these little fasteners coming loose up here in the corners. So when these fasteners get loose, that's it. The lid falls off just like it just did for me. And for me, that is a pretty big hazard for the users. So when we do a PM on these guys, these ones right here are always checked. And if they're even slightly loose, you have to remove the fastener completely, put Loctite on, and then screw the fastener back on to secure the lid. All right, it has to be done, and almost nobody does it. But that's what happens. The lid falls off because it hasn't been maintained correctly. All right, so let's see. We got a power switch, flip-flap power switch. This one's still got the tray on the bottom. Love it. Okay, because often I get these and they're already partially taken apart by somebody. So let's see. Everything's looking good. Let's go ahead and let's get my handy dandy little multimeter out right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the bottom pan, and we're going to go ahead and ohm out the heating element. And that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do to check and see, is it bad, is it good? Who knows? I think I have replacement parts over here. Oh. I believe somebody delivered these replacement parts to me. So let's see. This should be a replacement heating element. All right, what do we got? Wow, it's a whole rebuild kit. It's a whole rebuild kit. Woohoo! I do not think I need all this. I mean, so I have a thermostat, I have an overtemp, all in one kit. I didn't know that they come in the kit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. These are all thermostats. I have 3 thermostats. And a heating element. All right. All right, so let's see. Sorry guys, what I'm doing is I'm putting this little brass piece on here. It's not cooperating. All right, there we go. Because when I flip this guy around, I don't want these brass. Right here's the camera angle. So I'm putting these guys on, threading them, because when I start flipping this guy around, they'll booger off. They'll take off, right? So first thing I want to do is check these posts, make sure, because they get bent really easily. So I want to check and make sure that they're not loose. Now what you have to be careful for is that this guy is very pliable. You see that? Like, it's very easy that if I put this down in the wrong spot, it'll change its form, it'll be bent, and if you break the internal isolators, then this will be conductive and it will dead short as soon as you put AC power to it. So don't bend these around very much. All right. All right, hold on just one second, guys. All right. Vladimir, you have a wonderful evening, sir, and have a wonderful weekend. I'm resting my back from plugging a tire earlier. Oh my gosh. See, there's a trick to plugging tires. I plugged hundreds of tires because I used to work doing tires at a shop for a few years. And there's a trick. Like, I lay on my side and I curl around the tire while I'm doing it. It gives you maximum leverage. It's all good. All right. So anyway, just to show you guys, I've got my original good part here. I'm going to go ahead and put it on resistance. Okay. So now this one here, I think they're engraved with their rating. They're either 1,000 watt or 1,500 watt. Okay, so it's 1,500 watt right here. And you can actually do the math on that. If it's 120 volts, 1,500 watt, I believe it's going to be, what, 14 ohms, something like that. So we can put our meter here. Let's go ahead and check it. Okay. We got 10 ohms, all right? 10 ohms is a good one. I'm going to go ahead and carefully put that guy back in the box with 3 thermostats. 3 thermostats? Why do I have 3 thermostats? Anyway, let's put those guys right here. Let's put my phone up here. So the bottom pan on these guys is held with a couple, I think 10 or 8 millimeters. So I got to move everything around because I got to make sure that this is going to be safe for me since I got to lay on the ground. All right, here we go. Nice. All right, so down underneath, I have to pull that tray. Let's see, how can I do this efficiently? Let's pull him down, him and him. Yeah, you guys can see right there. I've got the air compressor and stuff down there. Okay, so that's probably the best camera angle I can get you at the moment. So I get those fasteners on the bottom. I've got to pull out and let's see. Last time I did one of these, I found that I had a special ratchet that made it so much easier. Yeah. Last time I did that, I used this guy right here because with this light twisting action, I was able to rotate this guy effortlessly, and it extends. How cool is that? So this is a Cobalt ratchet. It's what, the double drive they call it. So with this guy up and underneath, I was able to get them out very easily. But I forgot what size the sockets are. Oh well. Okay, let's do this. You can tell that I got to really build up to it because, you know, laying on the ground and all that. Hold on, hold on. We don't have to do this like animals, guys, all right? That's how real men clean the garage. All right, there we go. So now that my ground is clean so I can lay down, let's go ahead and check it out and see what type of fastener I have. All right. So I've got two, all right. Got two of these and two of those. I got two nuts, look like they're 8mm. Let's try it out. If I look like I'm struggling to get down on the ground and back up, it's because I bowled for like 2 hours a couple days ago. And I am so sore, guys. I'm dying here. Okay. So the front ones are going to be 7mm. And the ones in the back are 10. Oh, man. It's standard. You guys probably knew that, just based on the age of the device. So let's see, that would be 3/8 and 5/16. 5/16 is a no, 3/8. 3/8 is a yes. Okay. Let's try 1/4. That seems kind of small. 1/4, yes. Okay, so I need a 3/8 to 3/8 to 1/4. Oh, I do have a 3/8 to 1/4 adapter. All right, well, we're gonna have to change it up. I don't know where my 3/8 to 1/4 adapter is. You know, stuff happens. That just tells me I need to go and buy more tools, right? So 3/8 to 1/4 adapter. That's fine. Let's see, do the 1/4. This guy. So that just means we're going to trade up. We're going to go with this angle attachment and there we have our 1/4" adapter. Hopefully that gives me enough space. I think it does. And that means that now I can use my beloved impact driver. All right, let's do it. So the first ones I'm going to drop are the 3/8, which are in the back. Let's see, let's go ahead and throw him right there. All right. Wow, that was easy. I kind of like that. And let's see. All right, here we go. And now switch over to the 1/4. And I've got two of them right here on the back. If you can see, I'm just throwing the fasteners in the bottom of the pan. I'm just going to leave them floating around inside it, just like that. And I'm going to leave my sockets up in there too, because all we're going to do is we're going to ohm out the old system. Okay, so now if you're going to ohm out anything, what you have to do is you have to disconnect one leg. Okay, so that means one of the connectors to my heating element, one of these guys right here, I'm going to unplug. Okay, so I'm going to measure from right here to right here with one of my wires off. All right, so that's what's going to happen right now. We're still on ohms. Okay, let's see. See if you guys can see it clearly. Not really. How about there? Nope. Oh, geez. Whatever, man. Close enough, right? All right, let's do it. Let's pull this guy out. Some light evidence of dripping, so I'll have to check that, see if there's any corrosion. All right, so my heating element is right up under here. I'm going to disconnect one leg, and I'm going to touch one lead to one side, and the other lead to the leg that I just disconnected. And look at that, I have 9 ohms. All right. So, 9 ohms. This unit is probably working just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check all those connectors down there, and I'm going to see if there's any heat damage or if any of them are loose. I'm going to retension them, which means I'm going to squeeze them back down so that they fit on the spade connectors nice and positively. And heat damage, you'll see these little connectors like this guy right here. They'll be brown and they'll be crispy. That is a definite problem. So if that happens, then these will get clipped off. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll do that maybe in another video, okay? So heating element's good. That means that this guy is probably going to fire up just fine. And if it's still not heating up the temperature, that thermostat's in question. And luckily, I've got a box with 3 of them for some reason. All right, so there's that one. A yoga mat. Come on. Are you questioning my man card here? Catherine, a yoga mat, please. All right, next. So now I've got that big guy over there. I'm going to go ahead and put all these components right here because work in progress. All I'm doing is actively troubleshooting, and this guy here, it needs love. You can see, oh, well, camera's blown out. You can see the signs of a little bit of dripping right here. So I've got to check those gaskets and stuff, make sure that they're still good. Not a lot of dripping, you know, considering, so I wouldn't think it's a real bad leak. But on to the next one, right? Let's go ahead and put this guy over here. And this guy's kind of buried. Hey. Okay. I need a bigger garage. That's pretty clear. All right, I'm already seeing one little problem here. I'll show you guys in just a moment. So this is a different style hydrocollator. This one here is a plastic case. That's good and bad at the same time. All right. Sorry, I'm playing Tetris in my shop, man. All right, let's wheel this guy back over here. All right, here we go. I have never messed around with one of these ever. So this is a first for me, all right? I've never even seen one of these. This was dropped off in my house a couple days ago, and they said, hey, Justin, whatever you can do for me. I want you guys to take a look at something that I'm noticing right off the bat. Right down there. And to make it more obvious to you, take a look at that. So, it's definitely got some abrasion, like it's been smacked up against the wall. I see almost what looks like smearing, like it got hot. If there's any damage whatsoever to a power cord, any whatsoever, take it out of the equation. So this guy is going to get trashed. So inside this guy, let's see if I can show you guys. It's got a an actual glass lid. Why would they go with plastic for this whole thing and then not use laminate or something like that? I mean, glass? I mean, the whole thing is plastic. I don't get people. Anyway, down there in the base, you can barely kind of see it right there. That is the heating element. Hold on. We can definitely do better. All right, come here. There we go. It's so crazy. All right, so down here I have my heating element. All right. And instead of a large loop, this one here is just a little stick down there, all right? And it looks like it's all accessed from that side, which means that's where we got to go to troubleshoot. I do see another plug down here. I have no idea what that plug does. It looks like it's maybe a little corroded. Huh, looks pretty simple. Very simple to troubleshoot though, hopefully. Because right over here, someplace, is the heating element. And let's see, what do we got? Oh my gosh. Really? All right, well, I don't know how I'm going to show you guys this. The heating element on this guy is super easy to troubleshoot because it's just a Molex connector. Can you guys see that? So I just disconnected the heating element. There's actually a part number on it too. Look at that. So somebody has been in here and maybe changed it out or something. I'm going to save that. Nothing like getting a part number. Okay, so right here is my leads going into the heating element. Let's go ahead and check it out with the fantastic Mr. Multimeter. So one of the biggest indicators on any of these devices is its own build sticker, which tells us how many watts the unit's going to draw. And on this guy, I don't have a build sticker that shows it says 120 volts, and it's kind of smeared, and it looks like it says 1,000 watts. Now, it's not going to be too much higher than 1,000 watts because, you know, it's going to be plugged into what, a standard 15 amp outlet. So, you know, Ohm's law, you're kind of capping yourself out at even 1,000 watts. So it's probably 1,000. It's not 2,000 for sure. So 1,000 watts, I think that's going to be the one that's going to be like 14 ohms. So 1,500 watts is 9 ohms. So you can tell as you drop down the resistance in your heating element, the wattage is going to go up. Ohm's law. So I've got the connector right here. We've got the multimeter there. All we're going to do is this is the easiest thing to troubleshoot, guys. So we're just going to put one lead right here, one lead right here. Ah, can you guys see that? Boop. Didn't I say it's going to be around 14 ohms? So this heating element is also good because it's only 1,000 watts. It's not 1,500 like the last one. So if this unit's not heating up, it is something else completely. Not the heating element. This particular unit here, they were talking about just ordering a replacement heating element. And I said, no, let's check it properly before we just throw parts at it. Now what we can do is we can measure the voltage going into the heating element, but I don't think there's very much trickery down here because on this unit, there's this metal box down there, and this metal box, it feels like it's really lightweight, so there's no transformer, so it's not really converting voltage. It's probably just relays. It's probably just on-off, triggered, kind of like the old one. I don't know. Never opened one up. Have no idea. I do have a fuse off here to the side, and as I was saying earlier, if I wasn't able to read the sticker right here, and it's really kind of smeared, I could, of course, look up the part number online, I guess. But other than that, you can check the main fuse right here, pull it out, and read the amperage on the fuse. And using the amperage on the fuse, you can figure out what we're working with. So I also have a resetting circuit breaker here. So this isn't just an on-off single throw dual pole switch. This here is a circuit breaker switch or a resetting switch, and you can tell because it's got that snap action. So that means if it encounters like a GFCI fault or something like that, it's going to trip. So it's probably not a GFCI. It's probably resetting based on amperage. So in order to, if it ever shuts itself off, you have to probably unplug the power, let it cool down for a little bit, because these ones here, there's a bimetallic strip on there, just like your circuit breakers that are in the house. And as those bimetallic strips heat up from amperage, then what they do is they tend to bend in one direction or the other, and it flips the switch to off. See that? So yeah, that's definitely a resetting power switch. There's two studs. There's one stud right there. And gosh darn it, why'd they do that? So this box is not easy to service. I was hoping that there's fasteners that come through the bottom, but it's a welded in stud. And that looks like it is, that looks like it's 3/8. Oh man. So anyway, for this guy here, the on-off switch could be bad because I've seen those resetting power switches. I've seen those go bad, just like circuit breakers go. They fatigue and they go bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook a multimeter up, and then we'll flick it on, and we will see the voltage that comes out to the heating element. So we're going to leave the heating element disconnected. All right, clear as mud, right? Let's go ahead and switch the meter over to AC. And let's see, right here's the Molex for the power. All right. So normally I would not do this. I would not have one of these guys power up without water inside it. But since I'm disconnecting the heating element itself completely, we're fine, okay? We'll be all right. Let's see. Can you guys see the meter a little bit better? Okay, so let's get our power right here. And let's see, our power's off. So this guy here should go full on 120 volt as soon as I click it on, because it goes into a heating phase. Okay, so we are on AC. I do have power here. And I do not have anything there. So let's check the front control panel. And let's see. Is there an on-off switch that I'm missing? I have no power to the front control panel. See, I don't think I'm missing anything. Okay. Yep, off, on. I do hear a relay clicking down there, but I have no voltage to this front control panel. Let's go ahead and disconnect this guy. So here's what's going on. This is the front control panel. Oh, sorry guys. There we go. This is the front control panel. And if you can imagine, it runs off DC power. So that means someplace there is a small power switch or power supply in there. So there's a switch mode power supply of some sort or a buck converter. So either AC power comes up here, and from here it's being converted over to DC to run this little, interface panel, or all the way down in the back there is a switch mode power supply in that little magical box. And that is bad because right now it's not turned on. All right, one or the other. So first thing I'm going to do is unhook this guy, and what we're going to do is we're going to read on the back right here. It says supply voltage is 24 volts AC or DC. Well, there's not going to be a step down transformer down there for AC, so it's almost certainly going to be 20 some volts DC. All right, so here we got our meter. We get it on DC. Let's see, is that a little bit better so y'all can see it? All right. So here I can see power supply is pins 10 and 11. So that is yellow and blue down here. So my heater is disconnected. We've got this guy. I'm going to plug it back in. We have power on. Now we're checking for DC right here. It's possible it could be AC, but man, that just wouldn't make too much sense. I would definitely run this guy off DC. Boom, boom, boom. We got nothing. Okay, we got AC. We got nothing. All right. Just to be sure, I checked it on AC anyway. It's almost definitely going to be running on DC. So, this guy right here appears to be fine. Kind of cool. It's got some little captive screws. Kind of neat. I like that. Let's go ahead and put these guys back in. They're like thumb screws too, even though they're cap head screws. They're knurled on the outside, so I can just undo them with my fingers like y'all just watched me do. Now, mind you, I have never taken one of these devices apart. So this is all new for me. I had no idea that there's a DC power supply inside there. No idea until I seen that. Anytime you see one of those little control panels, that's your big indicator. All right, so let's go ahead and disconnect this guy. And the magical white box, I'm going to pull it. Okay. So the sockets that I left inside this one, I need to scavenge. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Y'all can see me good enough right there, right? So here's the fantastical white box. I've got two studs. I've got to zip them off. Let's make sure I got the right size, which I don't. Why would I? Let's see, 5/16. Yes. All right. Okay. All right, there's that one. And there's a washer on there, right? Yep. Come on. Well, I'm gonna stick the fastener in the basin over there. There is a series of plugs here that we can pull if we really needed to. I really don't want to, guys. Really don't want to. All right. So here's where it gets a little sketchy because I got to reach in here and God, this is not cool. It's not the easiest device in the world to work on. Come on. All right. All right, where are you? Okay. Get it? Nope. This is so awkward. All they had to do is position this guy over just a couple inches. But they placed it way over here to the side. So it's hidden. God, jeez. All right. Right there. There we are. Magical white box. Come on. All right, so I do have some power connectors here. Let's see, come on. There we go. Oh, wow. All right. Magical white box is not so magical. There's a whole bunch of components. It's just a shield. What is going on? All right. Okay. So guys, it's really kind of stuck probably because of the power port right here. Gosh darn it. Those goofy guys. All right, well, you can see what's going on down here. I have a transformer. So you guys remember when I was talking smack about, I bet you this guy doesn't have a step-down transformer? 24-volt AC transformer. It's not running off DC. It's running off AC. Okay. Well, just like any transformer, you can check the inputs and the outputs and see if it's good. The magical white box has got, let's see. So the outputs from the transformer go to here. And this guy here, looks like somebody's had a job at it with some shrink tube. All right. I'm checking them for damage, for heat damage. Okay, so there's that one. And there's another connector here, which I disconnected, which goes to the sensors. Well, this guy is not a smart device by any means. It's just a 24-volt transformer which powers the front display. And then it looks like there's a contactor here. I'm gonna have to use my phone. Here, let me rotate it so you guys can see it a little better. I can't even see what's underneath this. All I can do is feel up under this hood. Here. Gosh darn it. I'd like to disconnect this guy so I could flip this hood over. So I have one component down here. Let's see what it is. Okay, that is, oh, this is so awkward to try and get a photo of. Okay. Made in Indonesia. That's all I can read. So there's a whole bunch of spade connectors down here, and obviously you do not want to mess that up because they will go just all over the place. So what I would like to do, so the power comes in here, right? And it goes from here to here. And come on, I want to flip it up so I can see it. Tell you what. Whoever owns this device, I'm sorry, I got to do this, man. Okay. So right there. Okay. So I was thinking that the fuse that's over here on the box is a mains fuse. It is not a mains fuse. Okay. You can see the fuse right there. So if it's not a mains fuse, that means that it could be the fuse for the 24 volt AC. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Because normally transformers don't magically go bad, all right? Dun, 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 dun. Am I really 3 for 3 today? Okay. So it looks like it is a 24 volt fuse. Or what is this? What is it rated as? It's a 250 volt, 0.5 amp. That is almost definitely the 24 volt used for that control panel. So let's see. 0.5 of an amp is nothing. All right, so let's see. Is it bad? Is it good? I can't tell. 0.5 an amp is pretty small. Boop. It's bad. 3 for 3, guys. Yes. 3 for 3. Okay, so actually 4. We got that. We repaired the other thing. We figured out that. Now this. That's a good day, guys. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful and put that hood back on the way it should be. There we are. So I'm going to put this box back together very carefully. So somehow, some way, this popped. I don't know why. But because it's such a low amperage and because I don't see any signs of heat damage down here, I think it's safe to say that we go ahead and put this back in and check to see if the 24 volts now makes it all the way up to the control panel. Thing is, I don't even have a 0.5 amp smaller cartridge style fuse. Do I? I don't know. Let's see. I do have some cartridge fuses, but I don't think they're that size. And I've got blade fuses. Nope. Got lots of different blade fuses. Okay. Well, I'm not going to chance it. Fuses pop for a reason, right? So tomorrow I'm going to go and I'm going to find a correct half amp 250 volt mini cartridge fuse. I'm going to get a pack of them and use those for troubleshooting. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, what a day. What an absolute day, guys. So, everyone, I hope you guys were entertained by that. You know, when I'm in the field troubleshooting, that's really kind of as fast as I go. I can go reasonably quick. Problem is it takes, you know, just as long to order the parts and stuff as it does to do the troubleshooting. So yeah, oh well. But anyway, guys, all these are easy fixes, Catherine. Every single one of them. I love it. Fuses don't just pop for a reason now. So there's maybe some more digging that has to be done. With this being a half amp fuse though, what we can do is when in doubt, we can hook this guy up in line and we can measure the current if it pops again. So I would set this guy to amps and then set it in line with the fuse and see how many amps it's really pulling, and then keep my finger, you know, right there to shut it off. So can definitely do that. But I don't know. I'm not seeing any signs of damage, so maybe some liquid got in. I don't know. But maybe it could just be, since it's such a fine fuse, and that this guy's on wheels, maybe they wheeled it over a door or a building junction, you know, where two buildings are next to each other and they have a bumpity bump there. Sometimes fuses will break. They don't pop, they break, because the filament that's in there is so fine that jiggling from the casters wheeling in and out of elevators and stuff, they'll break them. So put a light bulb across it. Mr. Robert, you are absolutely right. I could do that. If I had an adapter for a cassette fuse, which I could probably make one. A light bulb is actually a good, that is definitely a good way to do it, because it's a resistor and at the same time it's a fuse, right? So that would be a cool one. Maybe I will. You're a funny guy. Guys. Anyway, guys, I think we are going to call it there before I catch something on fire. It's been a good day, you know, and my stream's been working perfectly. I now have fast internet access, like real fast. I was up in the attic just running cables and stuff, so we're definitely running at full speed here, guys. And this was my first real stream since I hooked up the faster internet, so glad that this all worked out. Excuse me. I've been talking too much. Normally I have something to drink while I'm talking, and anyway, I didn't this time. So guys, y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Have a good weekend, man. And for us, it's Memorial Weekend, and I'm gonna spend some time with my family and really enjoy this. So I hope you guys do just as well. All right. So thank you guys for watching, and maybe I'll do some spin-off videos from what we've learned today. I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, see you guys.